welcome to Curiousaholic. My name's Evan, and we were just playing you some Curiousaholic soundtracks here. So, we're about to get into today's episode. So, based on the little jam we prepared there, what do you think today's episode is going to be about?
Today's episode, something like, that you're kind of frustrated with, that you want things to get better.
Yeah, that's pretty right. But before we get into today's topic, let's just give a quick rundown on how the podcast works.
Sure.
So each episode, one of us chooses a topic that we're curious about and presents it live to the other person during the recording of the episode, to spark a deep discussion and to hopefully further our knowledge of the world around us.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So did you appreciate that? Like that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah. This is our first episode where we both played together.
Yeah, we collabed.
Yeah, we did.
You've been asking to collab for the longest time. So.
I have, and finally, for once, we did.
All right. So yeah, based on what you said, you're right. It's something that's frustrating me personally, but also affects everyone nowadays. So
okay,
we're gonna get into it. So the actual topic today is virtual environment. So
interesting topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is that? I know it could be a little vague, but what does that entail?
Yeah, it is a bit vague, but what I understand, virtual environment as in our life in the virtual, how?
Yeah, I wanted to take the stance where, we're all now in a new virtual environment, as in with COVID and stuff, everyone is working from home. And I kind of wanted to understand how that affects us on a daily basis nowadays.
I see. Okay. It's a bit personal to you as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
From your situation. Sure. Yeah. Down for it.
Yeah.
It is an interesting topic.
So obviously before getting into it, everyone is aware of COVID and how it affected everyone on a daily basis. And, it affects everyone because all the activities you were able to do in person and on site, let's call it, now you can't do that anymore. Everything is virtual. And it affects everyone in that sense, right?
Much of our life work has gone to the online now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is in front of a screen and in the comfort of your own home, right?
True. But to the sacrifice of what?
Yeah.
Then we'll get into that. Discuss.
Yeah. So you kind of understood where I was coming from when you said that kind of affects me.
Yeah.
Right. So so kind of what made me decide to speak about this today was obviously right now I'm working for an engineering company, and I've been working with this company since January. And yeah, I was supposed to be at the office and meeting my colleagues, but obviously with the current circumstances I had to be at home for the most part, which I can't complain because I am working, but at the same time it could be different, right, if it would have been on site. And
yeah, it's a different environment.
Right.
Some people say, oh, it's just the same, but through emails, but it isn't. It's different.
Not. It's definitely different. And you feel that too, right? You're working from home as well.
Yeah, same as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine at the moment. I like it. I guess some people might not like it as much, depending on the job as well. I think, if there's a lot of learning to do, right? And you're not on site, with people to help you out, then yeah, it can be tough. Definitely.
It could be tricky and tedious.
Well, look, I mean, I started working from home after, pretty much the whole of my training was done.
Right.
So it was kind of easy to start working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. I started working from home directly. I never had, formal training in person. I was supposed to go 2 months to the States to have the onboarding training. Instead, now it's all online.
It's all online.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of my inspiration to start this episode. Also, another type of virtual work environment is my brother. My brother is doing at-home school, right?
That's another one. That's a big one, yeah.
So all these kids that, my brother's in college, and, all these kids that were supposed to be at school, meeting new people, learning together and, meeting teachers and whatnot. Now they have to do it all from home, right?
True.
So I feel like that kind of hinders like someone's development a little bit in a sense, because I feel like that's part of your life, right? As a young adult, for example, meeting new people, going to school, and meeting as many people as you can and making new like acquaintances and whatnot, right? So
Yeah, the physical interaction.
yeah,
That's part of life. But now everything's online. You're missing some of that.
yeah, I could count so many people that I met throughout school, right? I mean, yeah, and that's been taken away to a certain degree, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, very much so. And
So-
then it does have consequences. So
Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to explore deeper. And personally, I find it difficult to like cope with that. But that's just me. I mean, some people take it easier. For me, it's like up and down some days. Like sometimes I feel like, man, I wish I could be with my friends or
I think it depends as well, like from the type of job you're doing, how straining it is,
yeah.
and how much more difficult it becomes doing it by distance.
But not even just like in a work like professional environment, and just in general, like this new virtual like society almost that we built, it's difficult to stay in touch with people, right?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, I guess it has its pluses because it lets you be more flexible and, working from home. As I said, some people like that, but then you have to figure out, okay, what other avenues can you take to socialize, to also do meet people in
Right.
person? Because yeah, we can't just, might as well just strap a VR headset and just live in a virtual world. We can't.
We're getting close to that.
But it seems like, yeah, I mean, some dystopian, people would say, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I wanted to read a quote from 1984, but I couldn't find the book.
You couldn't find the book. I do have it upstairs.
But yeah, that's kind of the approach I want to take from this. Yeah, like you said, there are good and bad, like scenarios from this, right? That result from it.
Yeah.
So not everything is bad and not everything is good. There are ups and downs to this thing, I think. So yeah,
I guess that's what we're gonna look
get
at.
into and find out soon enough.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I find it difficult because lack of interaction with family and friends. In terms of like my friend group, and you're part of my friend group as well. I feel like our friend group kind of declined a little bit since COVID started, with all these internal fights and all these crazy things going on.
Yeah.
Without naming any people.
It's all right.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I guess you're saying this virtual environment or staying away and just being virtually kind of pushes people even more away.
Yeah, so
instead of having to deal with it and be in person.
Exactly. Instead of dealing with our issues in person, now we had to go through like these group chats and, not seeing the person and being like, hey, like, what's this about, right? And, keyboard warriors arise.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm referring to, right?
Yeah. There's less of, the face-to-face social interaction to resolve issues.
Yeah, like conflict resolution is not, as upfront as it used to be. Everyone's like behind their keyboard, no pun intended. And, just writing, what they think online, but they would never say it directly to someone else in person, right? It's always like, almost like they're hiding their true identity behind the keyboard.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because when you write a text, usually you kind of take a minute and think, okay, how should I write this? How should I compose this? Whereas in real life, you don't have time to, think. It's on the spot. I'm telling you something, how are you going to react? And that's more truer to your intentions.
Exactly.
Than behind a keyboard.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, also I find it difficult to connect with even coworkers, right? I've never even met them before.
It's difficult, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, for me, since I did go to the office, I have seen the faces of most people. So even if I'm working online, I can still kind of relate, I know how they are, how they look and how I interacted with them. But someone who starts from the get-go...
Yeah, you don't know what their personalities are about.
True.
You don't know if someone's being serious, if someone's, trying to make a joke. Like, you're always...
Yeah, because text doesn't always convey those Yeah. Whereas if you know how someone talks in real life and then they chat with you, you can kind of assume the way they're talking just based on.
Yeah. Are they mad? Are they happy? Are they kidding? Like you can figure that out easily when you're in person, but you can't figure that out that easily through a text message, right?
Because you don't have a point of reference. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, even connecting with coworkers, I find it difficult. In terms of like productivity at work, like you said, for me anyways, just because of the type of work I do, like I'm in engineering, I find it difficult to like resolve an issue if there is one. It always takes like 2-3 hours more than what it was intended to be, right?
I can understand that, yeah. Well, even for me, like even if I know pretty much how to do my job, sometimes yes, because you have to pass through emails and, you know, wait for an answer, that also delays certain things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not super productive in that sense. It's always, you always have to schedule a meeting, or you always have to make sure he's not speaking to someone else on the phone, or, you know, it's tricky, I find.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's say you're in the office and your boss is in the office, you know, you don't send an email, wait an hour until he responds. No, you just go and walk up and be like, hey, can you answer me this question real quick?
Exactly. Just knock at the person's door and be like, hey, can you help me out? You know?
Yeah.
Now it's like, all right,
send
let me
an
wait in
email.
line here. And
exactly.
hopefully they get to me by the end of the day or something, you know?
No, I get that. It's frustrating. Yeah. So that's why there's, you know, pros and cons to this.
Yeah. And for me also, I find like sometimes I find it promotes laziness. Like I'm someone that's pretty regimented in general, but sometimes I find it easier to fall off track. As in like, you know, let's say I have to go to work at 8:30 in the morning. Sometimes I could be like, I could sleep in a little more, you know, it's not a big deal. And then 5 minutes before work, I could wake up and be at the office, you know, virtually.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Before you had to commute, and
there was like a preparation, a transition from home to work and then to work to home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's also the kind of weird thing about this, where you're at home no matter what, and you don't know when the transition is.
Yeah. It's like, am I at work or am I at home? You're not sure.
Kind of like both.
It's like both. It's hard to find that work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my computer's always downstairs. I could always do some work on the weekend if I want to, right?
True.
So that's the difficult part, in my opinion. And yeah, it does make people lazy to a certain degree.
It does. I think it does, yeah. So some sometimes just don't really, you know, answer emails or do much, or as much as they would in the office, you know, because in the office, okay, you got to work. You can't just like, you know, do whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, there is always the good.
Jocko again, of course.
There's always good and bad in everything, and around here we like saying good, right?
Jocko's
favorite word.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, so in terms of the positive, let's say aspects of the virtual environment, like you said, flexible schedule, right? That's something that people like for sure.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
Because you could be like, all right, let me wake up, do my thing, do my workout if I want to, and then 5 minutes before work time, all right, time to go to work, you know?
It gives you more time, definitely, because some people's commutes can be really long, so, you know, in those cases, yeah, for sure, why not, you know?
In my opinion, I actually like that aspect of it, but I still think it does promote laziness, but I'm trying to be positive about it right now.
Yeah, exactly, so there are the pros and cons.
Yeah. Another one that I would say is a positive thing is, you know, saving money in general, right?
Obviously, yeah.
So, like, you can't go anywhere, right? You're at home. What kind of money you're gonna spend? Unless, you know.
Well, yeah, you're spending less on commute gas or buses or metros.
Unless you like going to, you know, thrift stores and stuff and buying a lot of.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know. Sorry, that's just an inside thing.
But
yeah, you know, saving money is a big one. I think a lot of people enjoy that aspect. You know, you're not less tempted to go to fast food restaurants and spending. You know, personally, I used to burn all my money there.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people do. You know, they don't bring lunch, so it's like, oh, I need to eat. Okay, spend on you know, fast food or takeout or whatever. But now you're at home, you know, you have to also cook at home, so usually it's cheaper. And yeah. And also, yeah, I guess you don't also worry about like eating as much, where it's like, you know, you could snack or not necessarily have like a lunch.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, saving money is a big one, and I think we kind of mentioned that along the way, like less commute. That's
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah. It's, especially if it's half an hour or more, I think people appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to university all the way like downtown, so it used to be like close to an hour and a half to go, an hour and a half to come back. So, you know, if you add that 3 hours every day for a whole year, you know, how many hours is that commuting?
You're wasting that much time.
It is a lot of hours.
Definitely, man. I mean, look, like sometimes, you know, I finish work, boom, I'm already working out, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, you know, be half an hour coming home, you know, preparing, taking your clothes, 45 minutes to an hour, then I'm starting to work out. So
yeah, exactly. So there is a benefit there, and I like that personally.
Yeah, same. Me too, yeah.
Public transportation sometimes could be difficult. But even if you drive, you know, like the hassle of traffic and my car is stuck in the snow, or you know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like this year, like winter, I didn't experience much of like scraping my windshield or cleaning snow. Prior years, it was almost sometimes every day I had to, you know, from work, you know, in the parking lot. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, because this year I didn't use my car almost at all during winter. I mean, we were locked down here in Quebec, and sometimes I would forget to start my car for like days on end in the winter, and then I'd have to go and use it, and then the battery wouldn't start.
I guess that's another issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do have to keep it going at least once a week, but
that's why you see, in a sense, it does promote that laziness. Right? I don't need to like do anything. Right? I'm stuck inside. I don't even need nothing to worry about outside of the house. That's you
have to do like less up work, like less maintenance. Because you're out of the groove, you know, you're always at home, so you don't have to worry about the outside environment or whatever that entails.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's something that I guess
a little con,
but yeah, we're trying to be positive. Okay. We're trying to be good.
Let's be good now.
Yeah. So I think another good thing is appreciating like the little things life offers. I know that's like really cliche, but it's true though. Like, you know, you're inside now, you have a house, it could be worse, right? You could be not living in a house, right? You could be, or an apartment, you could be outside on the streets, for example. So that's something that you could appreciate as a little bit. And then there's also the fact that maybe you live with your family, so you get to, you know, be with your immediate family a little more, maybe your kids.
I think, definitely that is a plus, you know, like being around your family, because sometimes when we get in work, going to the office day in, day out, we sometimes forget, you know, spend time with your family, and the days pass, months pass, year pass, and they're like, wow, this person is already getting old or maybe sick, and I didn't even get the chance to spend more time with them.
Yeah, exactly. So people regret that, right? I mean, some people, they're gone too fast, and you were so busy doing your own thing that you didn't get to appreciate those other people. Yeah,
work, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we need to find the balance. I think that's what we always strive for in our podcast, to always find the balance in whatever we do.
That's right. Yeah, that is one of our values, right? I mean, trying to find a balance in life between obtaining your goals and reaching your goals, and, you know, having a good life at the same time.
Exactly.
And not... just be focused in one area all the time.
Yeah, because then when you're blinded and then, you know, life hits you, then you might regret, and that's what we want to avoid.
Yeah. So, that's about it, right? I mean, I think for the good aspect, there might be more than what I named, but...
Well, I guess it is also a luxury, you know, to have to work from home, because other people still have to work outside, right?
Especially just that by itself, I think, is a luxury, maybe.
Yeah, obviously, you know, people who still have to work in fast food restaurants, grocery stores, especially during COVID, right? Because everybody wants to be home. Right. You know, they're like, I don't want to be outside in public or in groups of people.
Yeah, but also you got to think about it. That might be a luxury for you, But some people, maybe they can't be at home, right? Because maybe they have family issues and they want to be outside working at McDonald's or whatever,
okay.
right? So it depends the person. So it could be a luxury and it could be like a downfall too.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess. Yeah, if your home situation isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have like a family environment that you don't like, then some people do appreciate being outside
Sure.
at work.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's right because I did hear from some coworkers, who might have kids or whatnot. Some people are like, I don't want to stay at home because they're like, you know how hard it is to work and
Yeah.
tend to your kids at the same time. Those little bastards.
These little rascals.
Yeah, they go around causing trouble everywhere. Because when you're at work, then your kids, most probably are with someone, a caretaker at the kindergarten. So.
Well, just my dad, for example. Like my dad works in IT. He could very well work from home, but he can't stand working from home. He's like,
Oh, he goes to the office?
he goes to the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, he has some responsibilities there, but in general, he hates working from home. Not because we have like a crazy household or anything. It's just because
It's the environment, I guess.
the environment. He's like, man, it feels like I'm working for 12 hours a day. And I feel that.
Huh, okay. Maybe he does overtime without realizing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think, that's another thing. Or maybe that's the bad. Are
Yeah.
we going to talk about the bad now?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to talk about overtime, but yeah, the work-life balance is definitely probably one of those
Yeah.
bad things.
Sometimes it gets blurred. When does work stop? You keep working. You're like, whoa, I'm working more than I'm being paid for here.
Right. That happens to me like quite often, and it's
Oh, yeah.
difficult to find that balance, right?
I get that. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, those were the good points, I guess. And here are some bad, the bad.
The good, the bad, and then what? The ugly?
Yeah. Then it gets ugly. So one of probably the most important, I think, is people that are working from home in the virtual environment tend to lose track of their fitness and don't eat healthy anymore, right? Some people say that they gained 20 to 30 pounds just during quarantine since last year. In the US, a lot of people reported to have gained a lot of weight during the pandemic just because they're at home and the fridge is right there and you could get food whenever you want.
I can imagine. Or just the fact that you're just less mobile. You're sedentary.
Yeah. Well, some people are depressed and they just end up eating more, right?
Yeah.
That's a coping mechanism, I guess.
It's more emotional eating then. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the bad things, and I think
I think that's
just
a big
that
one.
is already a pandemic of itself. This
The obesity rate
obesity,
is insane, especially in the States.
Yeah.
I bet it went up during
I bet it went up in
quarantine.
Canada too.
Yeah, I bet maybe in a lot of places.
Yeah. Especially at the places with strict lockdowns and I'm sure it happens more
And
often than
curfews.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Lego.
Yeah, we're not pointing fingers here, but
Some are politicians. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard though with the curfew.
Yeah.
It's hard for everyone. Another bad point I think is less social interaction in general, meeting less people. It's like I said at the beginning, we're social creatures, call them, right?
That's what we are at the end of the day. And as much as, we can Zoom it and have virtual meetings and all that, it's different.
It doesn't feel the same.
Humans need to see each other face to face. They need to see your facial expressions, your body language,
Right.
the way you smell.
Yeah.
Even, it's
Yeah.
just subconscious, markers that people
Exactly.
let out. Yeah.
Yeah, so meeting less people I think is a huge detriment from this pandemic and the virtual environment that we're settling into.
Just generally being like in a crowd or public place, it's you feel like there is life. Like
Right.
this, you're just isolated. Just behind your keyboard, you're like, where's the life here?
It kind of reminds me of when we went on that trip to Toronto, right? We had you felt like alive almost in that big city, and people everywhere, being able to see, we went to like these museums and stuff,
Yeah,
and
that was a great day.
it
Yeah.
was a great day. I remember it was your first time going to Toronto.
Yeah, I was like the little kid, like,
Yeah.
oh,
But that's what a lot of people miss, right? Just that's another one of my points that I wanted to bring up. People miss going to their favorite like locations for
trips.
trips, and even leisure activities like the gyms and wherever you like to go to have fun, right? Bars and whatever.
Yeah, just being in a group setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing, right? A lot of people do miss that, and that kind of reminded me of that time we went on that trip because, like I said, it was your first time, and it was like all new to you, and it was fun to like discover new things and
Yeah, just seeing
be with
others.
your friends and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Also seeing other people just going about their life and, things happening around me.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I imagine like I did that trip, but like on my computer screen, like walking in the city, but like virtually or something.
yeah. It's like if you would go on Google Maps or something, and
Yeah.
I knew someone that would do that. He'd be in front of his screen, and he would go in like the street view, and he would just advance on the highway.
Okay, for what?
I have no
Just-
idea. He would just do that.
Just
Be
for
like-
the shits?
Yeah, just for the fun of being on Google Maps.
Okay. I mean, I do go on Google Maps sometimes just to visit some places. Yeah, and like,
See what it's all about.
yeah, but I would like to go in person, not spend my time going street per street.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what a lot of people miss about the regular life, I guess. Right.
just normal life. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that I would say people feel bad about is they feel like they have less of an impact on the world around them, right? Like when everyone is inside their houses and the only thing you have is your computer and no means of making an impact, people feel like almost isolated, right? Oh, it's all in the government's hands. We can't do anything, right? So people feel like they have less impact, I find.
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean, some people might say, "Oh, you can have a big impact, through your online presence," but I guess, usually it's celebrities or people who are more
But that's the thing, right?
influencers. If you have followers, yeah, I guess, but
Those people take all the spotlight.
Yeah.
The famous people,
yeah, but us, just
not
normal
the 16 followers we have on Curiousaholic.
Please follow our Instagram pages. But yeah, exactly. If you don't have a huge following that you can influence or whatever, yeah, then being inside alone, you feel, okay, I have less of an impact.
Yeah.
Because being social, interacting with people, even just saying hi to someone, that has an effect on that person. Yeah, as minute as you might think it is, just being outside and interacting with people and being kind and respectful and helping others, that spreads.
Exactly.
So in
yeah.
a way, you're having some sort of impact on the world.
I find it's more difficult to do that when you're in a virtual setting, right? The only thing you could do is make a post on Instagram or, buy Bitcoin or something,
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm part of this group now.
Yeah,
I bought
wow.
Bitcoin. But
Does that really bring you fulfillment? I'm not sure.
no, because again, you don't interact, you don't see the reaction of someone, you don't see how you made
Yeah.
another person feel.
Exactly.
So
So that's the bad part. So let's talk about some methods to cope throughout this
Yep.
interesting time.
sure.
So what are your methods of coping? And
Going outside more.
yeah, good point.
Even if the government tries to push you in, no, still try to go out.
Yeah.
Go out. Walk. Walking is a good way just to be in nature and just go outside and still interact with people. Yeah, keep your distance, be safe, whatever. I'm not saying, go party, but just still go into the outside world. Just
Yeah.
because the governments are encouraging life at home, working from home, school and all that. No, you should still keep the balance.
Yeah. So that was one of my tricks is to go outside, get together with friends, I guess, and stay far if you have to.
Yeah.
don't be like crazy and stupid,
Yeah, just be
be safe
responsible.
and responsible, and you should be okay. That's a good way to cope. Setting yourself goals, like maintaining a good physical condition. All those things are important too, right?
Staying healthy,
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
most important one.
nutrition wise, and physical activity, very important.
Yeah, I feel like we bring that up a lot on our podcast, but it's because it's true. It's one of the most important things, right?
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can get as much money as you want. You can grind all day, work from home, and feel like crap. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what's it worth if you don't have your health? Yeah. So
So another good way, I think, is also to, reach out to the people you care about and telling them how you feel
Yes.
about this. And just like what we're doing here, it's kind of like telling everyone how we feel about it.
expressing our thoughts. Yeah. But yes, that's a good point, to keep in touch still. Even if, you might not see your friends as much as before, or party or hang out, still keep the contact.
Yeah.
Yes, virtually, but still keep it,
And even if you don't, like, for example, I don't like texting that much. So maybe pick up the phone, right? And
Okay.
call
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, true.
At least you get to hear their voices, or do a video call or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's still better than just plain text all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
I think those are the important things there to cope and get through this.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I think this working from home or school and all that might stay for the future, but we might go transition back to the office, and we will kind of have both options.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best for people who do like to do the work from home, that they can, and others do it from the office. Because I think when people are forced into one way of life, that's when it's bad, right?
Yeah.
You need to have something that adapts to your lifestyle. And as your lifestyle changes, your needs, then, you do it in a different way.
Well, I kind of hate you because you answered my next question.
Oh, I'm always predicting what's going to come next.
Yeah. So yeah, the question I wanted to ask is literally what you just said is,
Oh, okay.
is this going to stick on a daily basis? Like, are we going to ever go back to what it was?
I mean, look, I can't predict 100%. We're just going to have to wait and see. But, I think you agree that it is going to stay.
It's
in
going to
part.
stick to a certain degree.
To a certain degree. I
Yeah.
think because some companies are saying that, maybe we don't need necessarily big offices, because also companies, right, they're going for profit and spending less. So if they can get rid of the office space, then they might.
Yeah, because don't forget, like, that was the traditional model when internet wasn't as present, right? But now that we have this new tool, a lot of companies don't feel the need to be on site all the time.
Yeah,
anymore.
because they're like, oh, well, we can have meetings virtually. We can, call if we need to. We can send emails, blah, blah, blah. And for some, it works, sure. But others where there needs to be more hands-on training, more kind of just practicing with the help of someone, mentor, then,
But some jobs are still physical, right, to a certain degree. So they need to be there and they need to, get their hands dirty. Let's say.
Yeah. Well, that's another type,
Yeah. But for a lot of companies and businesses, everyone is just working from home now because we don't need to be there physically.
Usually, in the most part, is tech companies.
Yeah.
They're, mostly from working from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to bring today. And
so some closing thoughts on this, or
well,
some closing points.
I think it's important to find balance, like we said, right? If you want to work from home, do it, but make sure you have everything else in your life in check, right? Not just like, I'm gonna work all day and that's it. Find balance, work, do your hours out at work if you have to, and then do some physical activity, reach out to your friends, and set yourself goals, and don't just be a waste of space, right?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was
That's
kind of harsh, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, don't kind of live passively and just go through the motion. alone,
Yeah.
attend to your other, needs of, physical and mental health, social health. It is a thing. People need to socialize. At the end of the day, we're not living in a void. We're not, some
Yeah.
robot.
Stay curious, basically.
Yeah, stay curious, folks.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? All right.
Exactly.
Well, that's
yeah.
about it for today, and hope you enjoyed it.
It was fun
All right.
topic. All right.
Should I grab the guitar, or is it going to be too complicated?
If you want, man, just put
All
your
right.
microphone away and
All
we'll
right.
roll out of here.
We'll play us out then.
Yes.
All right, thanks, guys. Catch you on the next one.
Thank you guys for watching. Let's jam out of here. All right, 2 or 3. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Curiousaholic.
Our show is available on all of your favorite streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.
If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment letting us know what you've been curious about.
We release new episodes every single week just like this one.
But until next time, stay curious, folks.